everyone is here that is supposed to be here. Blessings, everyone, in this amazing life journey, wherever you are coming into our room. We know that you were here for a reason. Yesterday, we talked about the fact that we like the word leverage. Leverage is our very favorite word. I'm so excited about what we have to share with you today. Some of my greatest passions, which is raising the financial IQ of women, enabling you to really make a decision to partner with your higher power in your wealth building journey. And I want to make sure you remember what I shared with you yesterday. And the first way to leverage, which is you are God's masterpiece. And I want to invite you to believe that. Whatever faith lens you look at life through, I want to invite you to believe that from the heart of your soul. I follow an incredible man online. His name is Ron Carpenter. And he shared once with me that the fewer, the more wisdom you seek in your life, the fewer miracles you need. And ladies, we are in a time in our lives when there is so much noise around our finances. I have two financial advisors that I've worked with for decades that I laid off about 5 years ago because the information that they were giving me was not serving me. It was not exponentially growing my wealth. It was a very old, outdated way to build wealth. And I knew personally that I was God's masterpiece and I had greatness within me. And I knew there must be a better way, right? The people that we've assembled in this community all have some similar beliefs in the fact that we believe we are wealth creators in our own lives. Yesterday, we had Lorna share with us about procrastination. We got to have you meet, get to know a little bit about our Better Life platform. And we have an amazing speaker today for you. I'm so excited to hear from you, Rachael, and just hear of Rachael Jayne. I'm going to get it right. That's the last time you have to tell me. And I want to remind you also, friends, that you have an incredible opportunity this year to change forever the trajectory of your finances. It is midway through the year. And I know that a lot of you have financial goals that you established in January, and maybe you haven't necessarily met them, right? I want to just invite you that it is not too late, especially in the kingdom. There is plenty of time, and especially when you have the opportunity to leverage the systems and abilities and communities of other people. Okay, so before we get started, I'm going to do a quick little refresh on what we shared yesterday. I'm going to do a little bit more teaching, go a little bit deeper into the protection first formula, and then we're going to get to hear from Rachael. So friends, first of all, I want to remind you of what is the kingdom wealth formula. We believe in the kingdom that there's three phases. There is protection first. The ultimate form of protection. We're going to learn a little bit more about that today. Earning and multiplication. The worldly way of building wealth, by the way, friends. Has anyone ever been victim to a Facebook ad that, oh, you know what? You're going to double your income in the next 30 days. Raise of hands for those of you that have been a victim to a Facebook ad like that, okay? The worldly way says that it's a get rich quick scheme, right? The worldly way says that if you follow this particular person's advice, then you are going to build wealth. My friends, I want to invite you to just consider that you are a wealth creator, that you have wisdom within you, that you have the ability to create wealth by increasing your knowledge, by leveraging the skills and abilities of others. We talked about how leverage helps you get where you want to go faster. And we shared with you a little bit about our Better Company. Better Company is a company of destiny. We are a movement. We are determined to create a wealthier, healthier future for American families. And I tell you what, I love this mission so much because after 30 years of sitting down with families, kneecap to kneecap, going over their finances, I saw the number one problem that most families had is they simply were not earning enough. Period. The end. 90% of coaches never make more than $50,000 a year. We learned yesterday that, surprise, surprise, financial advisors, the average financial advisor earns less than $80,000 a year. Do you think we're maybe our system is a little bit broken, right? We are trained to go to school, get a good job, and outsource our money to maybe a 401k administrator, something like that, maybe an advisor, and they give us the typical advice, use the 4% rule. And I want to invite you to consider, how many people do we know is that old model serving? Unfortunately, there's far too many families living paycheck to paycheck, never really getting to the place of financial freedom. So, friends, by now, one of our success coaches has reached out to you. If you said yes to this workshop, part of this is becoming part of our affiliate program with Better. Today, we're going to be learning a little bit about one of the crises in our country that they are tackling so brilliantly, which is debt. There is an incredible debt crisis in our country. Our kids, anyone have kids that are maybe in college or getting ready to go to school? They are graduating with literally a mortgage payment in debt. And yet they're going out to the job market. And unfortunately, they're not earning what they are meant to earn, right? So be sure that if you are getting a call from our success coach, I want you to take advantage of that time. Let them show you how you can implement the Kingdom Wealth formula in your own life. And by the way, I want to be very clear about our coaches. We are licensed professionals in the financial industry. We are not money coaches, although we do a lot of that. We are not budget coaches. We are licensed professionals. And it's a tip that I want to make sure that you take control of your life when it comes to your wealth building, and make sure that you're partnering with the right people that have the right licenses that are legally able to give you advice around these things. Okay, so make sure you take advantage. Stick around to the end this week. Today, every day we give a prize away, and then at the end of the week, we will be giving a grand prize also. I want to share with you right now just a little video that I like to share, because I want to get you in the mindset of why is there such a need for what we're doing in our industry? Why is there such a need for people that are maybe a little bit smarter about their finances, getting a little wisdom in their finances? I want to share a really good friend of mine, Steve Martin. Anyone else Saturday Night Live fans, by the way? This is just like one of my favorite shows, but take a minute and watch this video. My friends, you get the point. Unfortunately, there is far too much debt in our country, far too much spending frivolously. I don't know if anyone has had this experience, but I remember when I first was introduced to the beautiful industry that I'm part of, they had me sit down and go through my own finances. And I was so embarrassed to see how much Starbucks was getting of my own money. Does anyone else have an issue? If you have a daughter like mine, a 16-year-old girl, you might have also discovered that Chick-fil-A is getting a lot of our hard-earned dollars these days. My friends, really the point is that we want to make sure that we are being good stewards of what we've been blessed with. There is incredible wisdom in my favorite book. I did put in the chat yesterday that if anyone does need a Bible, by the way, this is my favorite book. I've learned so much from this book. If anyone needs one, can you please put your address in the chat? I would love to send you my favorite Bible. I have like 10 of them. 2 of them are my mother's, and When she passed away a couple of years ago, I started using her Bible when I was doing my own Bible study. And I saw a phrase that she put in the chat in one of the columns. It said, "Whenever you see a Bible that's falling apart, it usually belongs to someone that isn't." And whether you look at the Bible as a book of history or literally a good book of how to live your life, I invite you to read it, to get to know that. There's incredible wisdom there. And there's a lot of wisdom when it comes to money. Did you know there's over 2,000 verses literally that talk about wealth and abundance and that we are creators and that we are masterpieces? So why then do so many families live in lack in our country? I believe a big problem is belief in ourselves. One thing I'm so excited to hear about from Rachael is the time that we spend with ourselves in the quietness of life. How many of you could use a little quietness in your life when it comes to our finances? How many times do you lay awake at night and you think about what's going on in your finances? And there's incredible peace that comes when you know what's going on. Ladies, there's an incredible book I would recommend also by one of my mentors. It's called How Money Works for Women. Donis, if you could put that in the chat for people to pick up. This is a book that chronicles the best practice. Sharon Lecter, she is the co-author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Isn't it funny how Robert Kiyosaki gets the glory, but Sharon's actually the co-author of the book. She is the reason that credit card companies, for example, are no longer allowed to prey on our college campuses and give our kids credit cards. She lobbied with the Bush administration to get that done. But she wrote this incredible book, and it chronicles how to be a better steward of your money from literally age 19 to age 80. And I want you to consider for a minute, when you have resources, when you have funds, when you have talents, when you have gifts, for example, if you are not really being a good steward of those resources, are you really going to be trusted with more? Right? I know that Starbucks was getting way too much of my money. And when I really got control of that, when I released my own debt burden of $70,000, several years ago, my life became even more blessed abundantly. And isn't it interesting that it doesn't matter how much you earn? When I was making over 500,000 a year in corporate America, I still had 70,000 in debt because my money habits were not sound, right? It doesn't matter how much you make, you could still be living paycheck to paycheck, right? Does that resonate with you, Shannon? Every one of us has a different what our enough number is, right? So I want to just invite you to consider how well are you stewarding what you've been given, what you've been blessed with. I want to introduce you to a product that I'm sure most of you know about and understand, but I'm curious if you really have come to realize the financial tool that it is. How many of you, for example, have life insurance in place? Have term insurance? Maybe you have some permanent insurance. I want to give you a mini lesson on just the power of leverage. Life insurance you can think of it as two ways to have life insurance. You can rent life insurance or you can own life insurance. And there's different types, but really when you think about life insurance, it is the absolute highest form of leverage. And my question to you is, have you realized that there are different types? If you had life insurance that was put in place, for example, maybe about 10 years or so ago or more, you probably have the old type of life insurance. That is an insurance that would, if you pass away, it would benefit your family, right? But my question to you, friends, is do you have the new type of life insurance? the type that is called living benefits. God forbid something happens to you, my friends, and you do not, you die sooner than you anticipated. My sweet mother, she died far too young. My best friend died at 46 years old. I have two very personal stories about life insurance. My mom, she had everything just tied up with a bow, with a very neat bow. Nothing could have been more perfect the way her and dad had designed things. My dear, dear friend, unfortunately, it was not the case. There was a little bit, but I tell you what, if someone had sat down with her and shared with her and her family the Kingdom Wealth Formula, their lives would be completely different. She left behind four children at the time the kids were all under 12. And her husband, was really the single breadwinner now. And we know what California is like. Being a single breadwinner in California, it doesn't matter if you're making 100 grand, it's poverty level, right? So friends, that's one of the things our coaches will do with you is actually help you if you have life insurance. Thank you. I'm glad you do. We do not need to give GoFundMe any more of our hard-earned dollars when life insurance is so available. It's one of my missions, in addition to creating this tribe of seven-figure givers, is that no family should ever be left behind and need a GoFundMe when it's so easy to get. We have car insurance, we have phone insurance, we have homeowners insurance, right? Why do we not insure the most important thing, which is these two beautiful hands that provide for our family? So if you have a policy, first of all, do you know where it is? I want to invite you to find it. If you have a policy and you maybe don't know what you have, that's one of the things our success coaches will be doing with you, is really helping you understand, be a good steward of what you've been blessed with, have a very clear picture of what that looks like. Tomorrow, we're going to actually be going deeper in to the type of insurance where you can own your policy for life. You might have heard of this concept. There's a lot of names for it. Be your own banker. There's infinite banking. There's the rich man's Roth. I see a lot of news on TikTok these days talking about the be your own banker concept. We're going to go a little bit deeper into that tomorrow. So, friends, I am going to now bring our guest to the stage, Miss Rachael Jayne. And Rachael Jayne, I am so excited to hear from you. I had an opportunity to watch one of your videos yesterday, and I know that you have something special you're going to share with us, but I want to make sure that I share with you something that I learned from my mom. I grew up in Alaska, a very, a place that you wake up in the middle of the winter. It doesn't matter if it's 6 in the morning or 10 in the morning, it's dark. Yeah. And I have so many memories of walking into the living room and seeing my mom in a corner in a cozy chair with a blanket, usually a cup of tea, and a little lamp, and she had her Bible in her lap. And yet oftentimes she wasn't reading. She was just sitting and pondering. And when you spoke about your silent retreats, it brought back a memory that she used to do that. She used to go to the Holy Spirit Retreat Center in Anchorage. And I always wondered, what in the heck is she doing there, right? Never did I realize that I would be yearning for something like that myself at some stage in my life, right? So I'm just so thankful that you're here. I believe every person that comes to our stage, there is a divine purpose for you being here. So thanks in advance for sharing your goodness with us.
Absolutely. Yes. And it's great timing that you watch that particular video, because I'm starting our 5-day, we do one time a year for the Awaken School, which is our community. On Wednesday afternoon, I'll go in for 5 days of silence. And it is just such a highlight, because it It unwinds the contractions that we just get so into, particularly around finances. I mean, what other topic is going to get you more in your head and more concerned and all of that? So I'm looking forward to this week, that's for sure. But I'm going to talk on a different subject today, which Shannon on my team and Lisa coordinated, because I understand that many of you are business owners or thinking about doing a business or have something on the side. Can you just wave at me if you have your own business or you're thinking about that? Awesome. So I usually speak about presence, spirituality, human potential, personal and spiritual transformation. But today I'm going to talk to you about building a seven-figure business through speaking and videos. Because when you think about what if you could only do one thing in your business, only one action that would make you the most amount of money, what would that be? Right? Imagine you have a team, you built a team, so you've got other things, and that one thing. Do you want to just pop that in the chat, whatever your answer is? What would be the one thing that if you only spoke to big players in your industry and networked with them, would that be what brings it in? Or writing? Some of you write blogs and books. And my answer is very clearly speaking and videos. Like it's really speaking. If I'm speaking to the tribe or new people, I'm making money. If I'm not, I'm not. Is anyone fall in that category with, if I'm going to really build what you're trying to build in your impact business, then you need to get better at speaking and videos. So I thought I'm going to share with you my best stuff that has led me to where I am now. So I'm going to share the screen. I don't have a ton of slides, but I'm going to share you a couple of practices that I think will help a lot in the short period of time that I have. So I am just going to make sure that you can see this from the beginning and duplicate there. So can you see, Shannon, can you just give me a thumbs up yeah, perfect.
We gotcha.
Great. So if you want to find out more about me later, I'm the founder and CEO of The Awaken School at theawakenschool.com. And I want us to share a couple of highlights so you know where I'm coming from. I've sustained a multi-seven-figure per year business for 7 years. And I'm really proud more about the 7 years than the 7 figures, because Lisa and I know it's one thing to build and another thing to be able to sustain it and have an unshakable inner peace at the same time. So we've been really successful. I started the company with my husband, who is no longer in the operations of the company. We kind of retired him from the management, and he's a writer, novelist, award-winning writer, amazing. But for my job, I need to be the inspirational face of the business. So I'm a TEDx speaker, 3 times best-selling author, Inc. 5000 CEO, and I had to wrestle with that I've got to be in front of people, because I wanted to be in front of people and I didn't want to be in front of people. Does anyone else find themselves in that situation? And I'm the owner with my husband of the new retreat center called Casa Sagrada, Sacred House in historic downtown Loveland. And we took over a church that was unfortunately failing. There was a very old congregation, and it was such a gorgeous place. And we wanted to take this sacred house and really bring people to it. So it was a full renovation last year, a dream come true, where now we get to have our spiritual events, retreats, weddings on the weekend, and have our own space, because we are primarily a live events and awakening experience company, from silent retreats to speaker trainings to everything in between, psychology, human potential retreats and things like that. So I'm really proud of that. I mostly teach on presence, spirituality, human potential, like I said, but I'm going to share with you a few things on our business journey of hitting 7 figures using speaking and videos. So show of hands, or put me in the chat actually, because not everyone's on video. Would love you on video, because then I can see your energy. And I work a lot with presence of someone, is what is their presence doing that's making me not want to watch or pay attention if you're on a stage, and what makes me really, really want to pay attention. So put me in the chat if you know you need to be the inspirational face of your business, whether you're reluctant about it or not. Mary Alice, I got ya, right? Because I was always really interested in why people had this magnetism about them. But internally, I'm shy and I'm introverted. So this push-pull dynamic between really wanting to be in the spotlight and not wanting to be in the spotlight was really strong. Like, I would say I had some big trauma from my early 20s, late teens, of people just big judgment. Who do you think you are? And we know that that kind of stays with us. And so it's like, oh, I don't want to put that out. What are they going to think? And all of that I had to get over. So yes, you do need to be the inspirational face of your business. So what I'm going to do is give you 4 things that come together that will heal the trauma of being seen and make you unforgettable, very magnetic. Who would like to be the most magnetic person in the room when you're speaking and sharing on stage? That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to do that. So the first key, you could write it down, is presence. So what creates magnetic presence? I have created 44 practices actually in the body of work that I teach that increases your magnetism. I'm going to show you one. So when you are anchored with your awareness inside your body, you are going to be 100 times more magnetic than when you're in your head bubble. So I'm going to demonstrate the difference, and then you're going to tell me in the chat what you feel in relationship to me. Okay? Not what I'm saying, what I look like, but how do you feel in relationship to me? Because isn't that why people buy or sign up for things or take the success calls phone number of least? Like, you have to build some connection. All right. So head bubble means I'm going to be thinking and I'm going to be up here and forward. So hi, everyone. I'm Rachael Jayne Gruber, and I'm so excited to be here today because I really do believe that the best thing that you can do in your business is not speaking in videos. That's the second thing, but it's really being connected to your higher power and letting that lead your business. And so I'm excited to be here. And this is me in my head bubble. And what do you feel? Even though the words might sound right. So that's head bubble. You can just put HB and a word. Now I'm going to drop down into what I call my power center, which is down into my belly, because a lot of spiritual people are very here and very heart. So everything's here, which is where I was stuck. And so I've got to come down into my pelvic bowl. My power center is about 2 inches below the navel. So you can just anchor yourself there as well. And I'll introduce myself from there. Hi, everyone. I'm Rachael Jayne Gruber, and I am thrilled to be here because there is no better conversation than letting your higher power lead your business. Would you agree? And then having the strategies from what we receive, the intuition, and then learning the strategies that we can implement to live out that mission. And so I am blah, 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 whatever comes next. Power center, PC, write it in the chat. What do you feel that's different? So what usually I hear is, yes, Mary Alice, intellectual but not relating, even though the words are right. I'm not feeling a connection. Did you notice that you kind of started just watching me? Oh, what is she saying? And the second time, it's more, I'm in the moment with me. Do you feel now that I'm back home, you're in the moment with me? Do you feel it's harder to disconnect from me in this conversation than if I'm in head bubble? And what also happens is when you're in head bubble, no one remembers what you said later. When you're home, people will remember it. So I have trained myself that whenever I'm speaking, I am home, and I am so home that no one can shake me out of that. If you can get that one presence practice, every time you speak, you could ask yourself, am I home? That's what I say. Am I home? I see two eyeballs, person. Am I home? I see a camera. Am I home? Because I know if I'm not, it's not going to move my business forward. Presence precedes strategies. The presence of the divine and the presence going through you in your life force. You can see that, can't you, with people who you're attracted to, that like the life force is there. So that's the first thing. Presence precedes strategies every time. Now, the second, I would say, is your message. And the tip I would give to you with this is to make sure your message, if it's on a video or your presentation, is on the most urgent thing that your audience is going through. And of course, you're going to speak and teach your principles or what have you, but they are in the process of problem and urgent. So if you start talking about things that they could say, oh, that's great. Oh, Jennifer, wonderful. You're so needed in the world. Oh, what a great message. But no one's buying, no one's taking the call. You're not talking about something urgent enough. And so, what I would presume why you're here is there is an urgency about the lack of financial flow that you know you could create. Like, even though we make multi-million dollars a year in our business, I know I'm under earning to my value. Lisa knows that. Donis knows that. We're all in growth mindset of what that is. So I'm not saying you're all urgently need cash now, otherwise you're going to, go into bankruptcy, but it's about money flow. Do you want to change how much money you make in a year, or do you want to do that now? Is anyone willing to wait a year? Not really. So think about what is urgent, 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 urgent. And a tip for those of you that have done this a lot too is go back to the basics. Start with the problem. Always name the problem earlier. And I've been shooting videos for a gazillion years. If you want to see my progression, you can go to YouTube and go, she wasn't very good in the beginning and she's much better now. But I still have to remind myself, the problem I'm solving here is you getting people's attention and you being the most magnetic person in the room. So people buy from you quicker or take the call. I'm saying buying is maybe not the right word. In enrolling your ideal clients, getting people open to your message fast, right? And so it's about attention and money. Now, the third thing is strategy. And I think that this is in this order. Most people go to strategy first, don't they, Lisa? Like, what's the tactic? What's the this? What's the that? Da, 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 da. But we can learn. I mean, we all have in this room 10 million potentially strategies that we have not implemented. They're still on our to-do list. So, anyone can come up with the strategy. And I have a whole strategy that I would love to give you. I'll share at the end how you get it for free. It's a 2-hour masterclass. I'll do it live for this group that is on the strategy of how to design your offer if you were doing it from stage or a video. It has made me so much money, and there's some big distinctions in that. But that would be an example of strategy. How are you going to design the words and strategically move them to an offer at the end of the video or the virtual stage or the physical stage? And wherever you are, if you're making a lot from that, I think you'll get some big insights, or if you're beginning. But strategy is kind of the how to and what you're going to choose. And I personally think speaking and videos are the bomb. And if you can get good at that, making money will be always at your fingertips, and it's getting those gigs. Now, the final one is the answer to this question, and you put your answer in the chat. What is the number one thing you need to double if you're going to double your income? Right? Everyone has a different answer, but put it in the chat. What do you have to double? That if you could double that, it infiltrates everything that's got to do with your finances and your income, and also your investment and wealth creation over long term. Got it in the chat? All right, my answer might surprise some of you, is courage. Because if you're going to follow Saturday Night Live and not buy things you really want, like that hot pink dress that I saw on Amazon yesterday, you're going to need some courage, right? Like, it'll come. There'll be a moment to not go with your old habits. If you're going to shoot videos and put them out, does that take more courage than you currently have? If you want to double the amount of videos you do, is that going to, you have to double your courage. If you want to get on a live stage and you've never done it before, do you have to double your courage? If you're going to up your prices, do you have to double your, all of it? It is not easy. That's why presence and your personal development can never, ever be forgotten in this process. Is that right? It can never. So don't get too much in your head about strategy. We can learn it. I'll share some more pieces. And I'll share, because we're wrapping up my time in a couple of minutes. But I want you to really ask yourself the question, if you are serious and committed about being the most magnetic person in the room, when you share your inspired message, what is it going to take for you to feel confident as a messenger, right? Really confident, courageous, who reaches way more people with your wisdom, way more people, and finds a way to achieve a consistent cash flow, not ups and downs? What is it going to take? And I believe when you know what that is, I know what that is for myself. I have got to get my brand in front of higher level people. I've got to speak more. I've got to not get distracted with little things that don't really matter. And you have to, if I'm going to change those things, be someone who's less distracted, be a better speaker, be a better networker when I am a complete introvert and feel very shy around that. You have to train, you have to practice, and you have to become. You have to become that new person. And I heard last night the funniest thing. Someone calls it kill your clone. Like the clone of you who was yesterday. Like no more, something new, creating yourself anew all the time. And if you are up for any of these pieces that I've talked about, I would love to invite you to my 3-day live intensive called Awaken Your Impact. It's for business owners who are spiritually centered. I loved what you said, whatever the faith, the lens that you are looking through, Lisa, I love that. I've never heard it like that. I grew up Christian. I've studied almost all spiritual traditions. You're going to be in a group of entrepreneurs who that is first and foremost. But we are taking our calling into establishing a profitable business. And there is 2 opportunities to do it. There is a virtual home edition, September 13, 14, and 15 this year. Or you could come to Casa Sagrada in Loveland, Colorado, to do the in-person event. Same event on September 20, 21, and 22. Some of you are so sick of Zoom, and some of you love staying home in your easy chair. This will help either of you. So if you want to monetize your wisdom and expertise through your message, through your speaking, through your videos, through strategies that work for your personality, if you want to become a fully expressed messenger and make money from this exciting path, you want to attract more clients and followers quickly, if you want to build a high profit and high value business, because most people are small business owners, they don't want a big team, they don't want a whole lot of management. You want to awaken people's ability to get their attention and hold it and become a standout voice and well-known in your industry. Awaken Your Impact is something that I would do. And because you're part of Lisa's Wealth Week here, you're not going to have the regular price, which everybody else will be paying for. If you register today, it is only $1. And you need to thank Lisa for that, because this is part of her challenge. So if you would like to register, Shannon's going to pop the link in the chat right now. And if you're one of the first 11, so if you're here live, because everybody else is going to see it later, I would jump on it right now. First 11, you're going to receive that free masterclass of designing your offer from stage. I have sold over $12 million from a physical stage and much more from a virtual stage and videos. So I really know what I'm doing. And for the first 11, you'll get the first 5 program with me. This is all live, by the way. We'll be on Zoom. You'll be able to ask me questions because we don't have time for questions today, but it's a simple path of getting your first 5 high-paying clients. So that is it. I really appreciate you having me today, and just take something, one thing that you're like, oh my God, maybe it's, am I home? Or I've got to talk more urgent, or strategies can come later, but I need to maybe join Awaken Your Impact and get the strategy of the sales process for your speech. Or do you need more courage, which is a big part of Awaken Your Impact? You're going to get me. It's not a multi-day speaker thing. It's us going deep. So hope you can join
I
us.
love
Thank you,
this.
Lisa.
Oh, Rachel James, thank you so much. And
You're
there's
welcome.
something about the sequence of how you, with the presence first, because I think that is it's so easy to just get in your head and go strategy. How many of you have bought 42 programs like me? Maybe an accidental entrepreneur like me, and I thought I needed everything. I think I spent 250,000 in my first year of starting my business, right? Of things that I had no business buying,
Right.
right?
And they just built all the little strategies. And you're like, I don't even
Right.
have the, the earth suit that the divine is coming through. I don't even have that
Yeah.
down yet with my business.
Well,
Yeah.
and what you shared about having that design of, friends, whether you are planning to speak from the stage, I know many of you are, or you really just want to get good. Rachel Jane, we sit as our financial coaches, we sit down often with just daily with families.
Yep.
And there is so much impact when that presence that you mentioned, and having that ability to speak
Yes.
genuinely and have a message that's clear. I'm curious.
Exactly.
I do have one question if you have time
Yeah,
for a
absolutely.
question. So part of our community, we are part of the Better Life startup movement. And in that, it is really just a platform for business solutions. There are many things that you can help companies with. You could choose, or families, you could choose going to the consumer and tackling the debt crisis. You could work with entrepreneurs who need benefits, health insurance, things like that. You could work with our tax strategy team and really focus on tax strategy for business owners. So there's the systems have already been built. It's a matter of now deciding how you want to go to market with the platform, right? Is there anything you would suggest as just basic steps in choosing what to pursue? Obviously, in alignment with the 4 things that you just mentioned.
Do you mean like when someone's thinking about what they
Yeah,
put
which
in?
niche to go after?
Well, I think your own credibility to who you want to work with is becoming more and more important because of the noise you were talking about, right? Like, I got this, I
Mhm.
got that. And so people are more aware of like, who is this person? So I don't like to brag. It's not my usual, right? But I had to learn to go, I've got to teach what I'm a master at. And I'm not saying everyone has to be mastered to go into your platform or whatever. But if you could start with the thing that you are most unshakable at, and you have some credibility, That's why I had those slides, and I'll go more into it with the designing of your offer. And again, love it could be just in your 5-person family that you're talking to or whatever. I do that because you don't know me. You don't know what I can do. I could just teach you some great speaking skills and that. But so I would just do some real soul searching of what you could lead with into that platform. That's like, I've got some 3 or 4 one-liners that would make people go, what? And
Yeah.
keep remembering that. And it's a good remember just in general for networking and joint venture relationships and all that. I'll just tell you 30-second story. I was at the retreat center last night. I was networking. I don't really love it, but I'm talking to this guy, and this was a huge opportunity of partnering. And I'm like, I hear myself go, tell a credibility thing, tell a credibility thing. And so I said, my work, 13,000 people have gone through my training. And he's like, what? It's just not normal for me to say that, but it opens the door. So make sure you have those to open the door to people who don't know how amazing you are. They don't
Right.
get it yet.
Right. Well, and I think a lot of people come in and they see others doing what they want to do, but the belief that they are capable of it. That's when, again, my favorite word gets to come into play, which is
Yes.
leverage. We get to leverage mentors you choose to follow, systems you choose to follow. We don't have to be the inventors of these things
Right.
because we are leveraging
Yep.
the things that others have built, in this
Yep.
particular case, right? But we
Exactly.
all bring our own unique way of how we want to approach the business, the tribe that we want to attract. And I personally know I get to be friends with you and come to your Casa Sagrada because it sounds fabulous. I have on my, I travel every year, every month, and I always pick at least 3 retreats a year that I
Um,
get to do. Have you heard about the national call for 1 million women to gather in the mall in DC for a day of prayer? Have you happened to
no,
hear about that? Oh,
no,
I'll send you the link for it.
please do.
It's going to be happening in October. I'm going to an Esther retreat in October in conjunction with it. So I thought that might resonate with you
I
too.
love that.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Hey, well,
Oh,
friends, this has been Rachel Jayne. Thank you so, so much
thank you for the
for giving us
warmth.
the
I'm
gift of
feeling
your
the
time.
warmth. I'm feeling the
Yeah.
love.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think we need to take her up on that offer of a live masterclass. What do we think, friends? Absolutely. Okay, well, thank you so much, my dear.
You're
Appreciate you so
welcome.
much. Thanks,
Thanks,
Shannon, for
everyone.
joining us as well. And the other Shannon, tell her hi
I
for us as
will.
well. Thank you. So, friends, as we are wrapping up today, I want to give you a little taste and see about one of the service offerings on the Better platform. Raise of hands for those of you that maybe you personally have some debt in your life. Maybe you have a child that has student loan debt. Maybe you have a friend that is burdened by debt. Raise of hands for those of you that might know somebody that has some debt burden. Okay. This is a very, very personal story to me. I've shared very openly about my own debt crisis, through the years. I was a very high earner, got my income cut in half in a very short span of time, and yet didn't have great money habits, continued to spend as though I was still making 3, 4, 500 a year. It would vary from year to year. And I got myself in a big crisis. And I will tell you, I have personal experience with this company. Not this company in particular, but the companies like it. And it's really talking about the debt crisis in our country. So one of the companies on the Better Life platform is called Prosperity Financial. There's 2 arms of the business. One is secured and unsecured debt. That might be credit card debt, that might be medical debt, things like that. And then there's another arm that tackles student loan debt. Okay. There is an incredible crisis of debt in our country. And imagine how much more you're able to help families when they feel the relief of debt, the debt burden in their life. They're so much more able to build wealth when that debt is not burdening their shoulders. Imagine our so many kids out there that just don't even know how they're going to get from under this burden. So I want to invite you to really take a deep dive into the Prosperity Financial platform on the Better Life platform. Now, they have every one of the companies that are on the Better Life platform, they have their own unique meetings, unique links. So on your dashboard, you have your very own Prosperity Financial link. It is meant to be easy, my friends. This is meant to be something that somebody at the top of your head, Mary Alice has referred people, Jen has referred people. We have many examples of our students that have come in and they immediately have shared with somebody that they love. Our dear friend Tammy Joy, the first challenge she ever joined, she knew her ex-husband had 164,000 in debt. He has relieved 80% of his debt burden. We have Mary Alice. She had gone into debt for her sweet daughter, getting her through college. She was able to release 290,000 in debt forgiveness. We have so many stories like this, my friends. And remember, we pay very well for those referrals. For every family helped in student loan forgiveness, for example, that's $300 in your pocket. When it comes to credit card debt, it depends on the percentage of debt. That's how you're paid your referral fee. But I encourage you to, if this topic resonates with you, if you know people that could benefit, in my financial practice, I sit down with families and debt is so often a problem. And it's nice to have this tool in my toolbox that I can provide for them when that happens. So encourage you to go a little bit deeper into the Prosperity Financial. I want to share with you one more thing that I forgot to share yesterday. Um, I've been blessed to be part of 3 companies now. This is my third company where I have been provided stock options. In my first company that I ever worked with, the company went public. I was given stock options, and I basically put 2 of my kids through college through those stock options. I got over 200,000. I had another company that I was with for a couple of years that paid for my wedding, right, to my husband. I had to switch husbands to get my girl. I now have a fabulous guy that I was meant to do life with for the rest of my life. And I'm telling you, stock options. Now, obviously, Better is a new company, right? We went officially live in January of 23, right? So we haven't been around for long. But when I got home from Hawaii, a couple of weeks ago, or last week, I had this in my mailbox. It was a stock certificate for 3,475 shares. And this is going to continue to happen for those of you who else got their stock certificates. Mary Alice, did you get yours? Jen, I know Donna's got hers. June got hers. Anyone that basically helped any families last year would have gotten theirs. So I just encourage you, my friends, if maybe you've been a partner in Better Life for a bit of time, and for whatever reason, you just haven't taken action, or if you are new, just learning about this incredible platform for the first time, I just invite you to be part of it in a big way, a way that will change the lives of so many families. And I will tell you, my favorite topic, my favorite company on the platform is the movement itself, the Better Life movement. Yes, I use the tools. Yes, I have people that could benefit. But I tell you what, when I sit down and I ask someone, what would change your life the most right now? Almost 100% of them say an income stream would benefit their lives, right? So encourage you to do that as well. Take that same initiative. Tomorrow, my friends, we have a very special guest, my friend Lori Souza. I have a very personal story about the crypto market. Many of you know my sweet father was scammed for over $300,000 in a crypto scam last year. And she has been doing crypto coaching literally since it began. And so if you are crypto curious, if you are interested in learning how can I leverage the crazy asset class of crypto, maybe a little nervous about who to trust in that space, Lori's going to she's going to start with some very basics and really empower us to learn how we can strategically, but also safely, as safely as can be possible in such a volatile asset, right? How to integrate that into your portfolio. I will tell you, personally speaking, I have a whole other income stream just from my Bitcoin alone. And I haven't done it overnight. It's been a little bit at a time. It's been a lot of trial and error, but it's also been by diligently seeking wisdom. So I know people that are way smarter than me in every single topic, and I will always continue to leverage them. So friends, join us tomorrow. Dawn, is June, who's doing our drawing today? Is it June? Okay,
It's
let
me.
me pin you, my dear. And did I make you co-host yet? Let me make you
Not yet.
co-host.
Thanks.
Share your screen. Wasn't Rachael Jayne amazing? Oh my gosh. Just who else wants to go on a silent retreat with me? Anyone else want to come? It would be really hard for me not to talk and visit, but I know it would be good for me.
All right, here's the bin.
Our winner. I always love the colors you do, June. Who's our winner? Deb. Are you still here, Deb? I don't know if we have Deb's phone number or her email. Let's make sure, Deb, can you make sure you add your
Hi, that's me.
Hello, congratulations, my dear. You are the winner of a $20 Amazon gift card. We had Stella yesterday. So if you could make sure you put your phone number in the chat, we send that to you via text message from Amazon. Okay.
Thank you very
That
much.
would be great. Congratulations. Everybody, blessings in this amazing life journey, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.